morning, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Jo Banks, Alive with Flavour is my company, and I really enjoy doing home cooking, showing you some healthy, easy, fuss-free recipes. And this is one of our favourites. It's a squash and black bean chilli, and you can really use seasonal vegetables, particularly great in November, just after Halloween, with butternut squashes and pumpkin. So I'm going to show you how to do the recipe. I just wanted to remind you how important it is to wash your hands before you start cooking. So I'm washing my hands with soap and warm water, and then I will be setting up my cooking area to make our recipe today. Get our recipe ingredients prepped, and I'll just talk you through what we've got here. So I've got 1 onion, we've got a few sticks of celery, we've got a chilli and a few cloves of garlic. Ideally green peppers, but if not, I've got yellow peppers here, they're fine. So 2 peppers, red would work as well. I think green have just got that slight bitterness that works really nicely in a chilli. Got a handful of coriander here. So let's just get prepped and get these chopped up so that we've got everything we need for frying. We have also got to prep our butternut squash and get that in the oven to roast. So we're just going to slice up our onion. So I'm just making some little slits in the side, then holding your hand a little bit like a claw, I can come down the other way and finally chop that. There we go. Peppers, just half them. Going to take away the seeds and just chop those. Now with chilies, remember to just take care when prepping chilies. I'm just going to pop it out the way. I'm going to come down the centre and open it up. And then I use a little, it's actually a grapefruit spoon, just to take away the membrane, so that little white skinny bit inside. That is actually where the heat of the chilli comes from. And I don't want the seeds either. As a family, we're not wanting the chilli too spicy, so we like a little bit of bite. So I'm just going to remove those chilli seeds and discard those. We will just have the chilli then finely diced. So before we get started, we need to wash our hands again. We've prepped all our veg, but important to wash your hands thoroughly in between, especially after dealing with chilies. I'm just going to slice up my celery now, and then we're going to move over to the hob. Right, I'm just going to prep my butternut squash for today's recipes. I've already done the slightly larger one, but just to show you, it's really important that first you've got a good work surface to work on. I've washed my hands, and I've got my mat on the surface. I'm actually just going to pop a cloth under my mat. Sometimes a piece of kitchen towel works, just so it doesn't move around, particularly with large root vegetables. Sometimes it will want to dance around. So hold your butternut firmly, and then I'm going to just take the top off, and I'm going to take the bottom off. And as a butternut's a little bit difficult to peel or dice that way, I'm just going to make it slightly easier. So now I've got a solid surface to work from. All right, so now I'm going to just peel it and discard our seeds. We're going to do that with both pieces. I just finding it easier to peel it this way. You can use a potato peeler, but just to get the skin off. Alright, and just dice that into pieces. Ready for roasting. And just using a spoon, take all the seeds out. Right, it's been about 35-40 minutes. I'm popping my oven gloves on. Got to be really careful, obviously we're using the oven, so just to pull out our butternut squash. Those are our pieces all roasted, and our whole butternut squash ready to use in our recipe today. Right, we've moved over to the hob and we're just going to get our ingredients cooked now for our chilli. So I'm just putting a little olive oil in the pan. And our first ingredients are onions. We want to get those fried off. There we go. And we're also going to add our celery. Alright, so celery and onions. We're going to cook that for about 10 minutes. So while our celery and our onions are frying off for about 10 minutes, I'm going to just prep our butternut a little bit further. So that's all roasted now, our pieces out of the oven, and our half butternut is ready too. So I bake those in half. And I now need to scoop out the flesh, ready to add to our chilli. So I'm just going to take that opportunity to do that now. Right, now these onions and celery have begun to turn slightly caramelised and light brown. They're cooking nicely. I'm going to add my pepper. As I said, ideally green pepper, but I've only got a yellow one. So we're going to add a couple of yellow peppers and continue to cook that for another 6-7 minutes. Right, I'm going to add our additional ingredients now. Get our chilli really cooking. So 1 red chilli, and also add our garlic. I'm just going to press, I've got a couple of cloves in there. And I've got some dried oregano. Ideally fresh would be better, but I've got dried. And a couple of bay leaves. And I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Right, lastly I'm going to add my tin of tomatoes. There we go. I normally just rinse that out with a little bit of water. Helps clean the can at the same time. Just swirl it round. Try not to waste anything, and then give that a final stir around. It's beginning to smell really nice now. And then we are going to let that simmer uncovered for about 20 minutes. Just let all the flavours combine. Right, our chilies cooked down nicely. As I say, smells delicious. I'm just going to now remove the bay leaves, which we added for a little bit of extra flavour. Going to add our tin of black beans. Now I've drained these off, rinse them under some cold water and drain them. We need to add those. We're also going to add all our butternut, which was roasted earlier. This is really good recipe for leftovers, any leftover veg. I think it all looks very seasonal using the butternut. Beautiful orange and lots of colours with the black beans, tomatoes and celery, but you could use sweet potato, you could use meat left over from your roast at the weekend. Lots of different options, so we're going to pop that in. And then finally just a squeeze of lime juice. I'm going to just juice that over. I'm going to actually do the other half. There we go. And a little bit of salt and pepper. Yeah. Right, going to give that a good stir. And then I'm going to get ready to serve that up. Right, I'm just going to dish up, taking out my butternut skin that was roasted, and once the flesh was cooked, I scooped it out and added it to our chilli. I'm now going to pop our chilli back in. This is one of the serving suggestions, which looks quite good as well. So let's put lots of topping, lots of beans, and then we can grab a little bit of sour cream and pop that on the top. Sprinkle of coriander.